And as officials now prepare for Milton, we now continue to learn more about the devastation from Hurricane Helene that is now left behind. The death toll from Helene here in North Carolina now stands at 89 people. And most of the deaths are now listed under unknown circumstances: drownings, landslides. The county hit the hardest is Buncombe County, where 40 people have died. The State Department of Health and Human Services reports the ages range from 4 years old to 89 years old. The 4-year-old died in Catawba County due to a crash on a flooded road. So in total, so far, more than 200 people have died from the storms. That number is expected to continue to rise as authorities continue to recover bodies. And before the North Carolina legislature returns now today, House Speaker Tim Moore, along with members of the Western North Carolina delegation, are now sharing how Helene has impacted the area as a community.
The lives in the mountains are different. We're strong, we're resilient, we will rebuild, absolutely. And a lot of times we hate asking for help. I know that myself. And I promised I wasn't going to cry. But people are still needing help even though they don't ask for it. And this is just a start. This is a start to help get people what they need. Our community has come together, and it's been such a blessing to see the strength that is out in Western North Carolina.
That emotion's so real. Meantime, we're now learning more about what North Carolina leaders say they need immediately for recovery efforts. So Queen City News obtained documents that show state agencies are now initially asking for hundreds of millions of dollars for some of the most immediate needs. That includes $250 million to create a Hurricane Helene fund that would give the state more flexibility to respond to issues quickly. The Office of State Budget and Management says that would provide more transparency to see where the money is going as it's now getting spent. North Carolina has billions of dollars in reserves that could be used. The state officials say they're now still working to get a more comprehensive list of what needs need to be met, and that should happen in the next several weeks.
There's some immediate term needs to put money into the communities in ways that we can do more quickly than the federal government can.
And this is expected to be the first of several relief bills that the legislature takes up as officials get a better understanding of the scope of the disaster, how much the federal government will cover, and what the state will need to do long term. So now these initial requests include funding for child care, repairing roads, and rebuilding damaged schools. So here's a look at the other requests: $150 million for school buildings, equipment, and technology losses. So $21.1 million in additional child care stabilization grants, and then $16 million for school nutrition staff so they can just continue to be paid despite schools being closed, and $100 million to match FEMA funds for roads. The earliest full draft on what is needed is not expected until mid-November. So while in Raleigh, Republicans say that they also expect to address access to voting, but it's unclear right now what that all will include. So they say right now they will not attempt to override any vetoes by Governor Cooper. But Governor Cooper will update the state on Helene's impact this afternoon. So he'll be at the Emergency Operations Center in Raleigh, along with members of FEMA and the National Guard and Emergency Management. So Queen City News will carry that news conference live. Also yesterday, the governor was in Western North Carolina to tour the damage in Burnsville in Yancey County. That's what you're looking at here, as well as Spruce Pine in Mitchell County.